Nerd alert. Something you guys need to know about me is that I am really good at procrastinating. I've been making videos about my journey to the airlines since I started training at the airlines. Whenever my first video was, I realized very early on that I needed to make something because I never took the time to explain who the heck I am, why I am where I am, what I do, how did I get here, and all my videos are related to all of that. A lot of it is about my personal life. I don't think that's why people want to click on my videos. However, what I wanted to do with this channel and with my videos was exactly what I've been able to accomplish with a lot of you guys, is communicate back and forth to people that are thinking about becoming a pilot. I wanted to be able to show the lifestyle of an airline pilot in the US in this day and age, I guess. I started this channel because I wanted to see what it was like on this side when I was on my way to this side. I wanted to look up stuff. I wanted to see people's personal experiences in this industry. I just felt like I was going back and forth trying to see what is it like on the pilot side of things in this industry. So I found the dude videos, and then what is it like being in the airline industry as a chick. Okay, well, there's a lot of flight attendant videos talking about travel tips, packing accessories, how they do what on the trips, and I'm not a very low maintenance type of gal. So, you know, you get my drift. Anyway, so I wanted to fill a void that I felt I found when I was looking to go to the airlines. So that's why I'm here. However, who the hell am I? You know, that's why I wanted to sit down and finally get around to explaining who the hell I am, what the hell I do, and how the hell I got here. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. A lot of my videos are kind of just my lifestyle and what I've been able to experience because of working in the airline industry. So without further ado, welcome or welcome back, and let's get started. Cheers. Oh, that's hot. Who the hell am I? My name is Rachel. Was born and raised in Riverside, California. I went to elementary school there, high school there. Probably the most inconsistent part about my upbringing thus far was that more than half of my life I lived in this same house with my family, went to the same school from first grade until graduation, and right before my senior year, everything changed. My parents and my two younger sisters had to leave, and they moved across the country to Ohio, then ultimately settled in Alabama. But because I was about to go in my senior year, I was given the opportunity by my parents to stay behind. I had been at my school, it was a small private school, since first grade, and so I wasn't about to go do my senior year with people I didn't know in a city I didn't know. So I was able to stay with a family friend and spend my senior year with all my classmates, most of which I had known since first grade. First year after high school, I went to Tennessee to a private university out there. Did not have a great experience. Didn't feel like it was my place. Still didn't know what I was doing career-wise. So very quickly after that year ended, I ducked out and went back to California. Ever since my family left California, I've been moving about once every year for the past 10 years. This move into this apartment was number 14. If you're including temporary moves like into a dorm, out of a dorm. I moved to Arizona half the time for 8 months and then back. So including those kinds of moves, I've moved 14 times in the last 10 years. And I'm not done yet. So life has been pretty hectic since high school. I'm not complaining in the least. I lived a very comfortable life, but no matter what life you live, you're gonna have your battles and your speed bumps and your journey, you know? So I try to stay humble because my Maslow's hierarchy of needs was usually always taken care of. So yeah, I moved back to California after that 1 year of college, and then I did community college, got a job at Starbucks. I was a barista there for like 2 years. When I started at the airline, I did move back to my parents' house in Alabama because it was gonna be easier to commute from there up to Chicago, where I was initially based. I lived with them for only maybe 6 months, 9 months. And then Alex and I started dating and we moved in together, moved up to Chicago. We lived there a year and then came back to California. So I've tried to leave California like 3 times now, and I've come back every time. So I think this time for good. Upbringing was pretty normal. Not normal, I don't like that word. Upbringing was pretty standard. We grew up going camping most of the time, never really touched hotels. We lived in the Orange Grove and Horse Country area of Riverside out in Woodcrest. So my dad was pretty adamant about us always being outside, helping with yard work. I definitely appreciate that. I'd say like physical activity was a big push, mostly from my dad. I mean, my mom, don't get me wrong, my mom was born in the Philippines, in Manila, not Filipino. She had parents that were missionaries, and then she moved back here when she went to college. My dad grew up in Colorado, outdoorsy man, went hunting. Him and his dad taught us all how to fish when we were younger. So they pushed us to be pretty outdoorsy and adventurous from a very young age. We lived on an 1.5 acres in Woodcrest, and it had a giant hill in the backyard as well as a giant gully with like a stream running through it. Our imaginations definitely ran wild there. From a very young age, I was very interested in photography. That was probably my first passion and hobby. I think it came from just capturing memories. I've always had a fear of losing my memories or losing my mind. Photography was my way of capturing and documenting memories and moments in time, friends, family, and then it turned into like an art form. High school, I got my first DSLR camera, and I was pretty involved with the junior high yearbook and the high school yearbook, shooting photos, and then it turned into making videos for the high school. So I joined the student association junior and senior year. I can't really remember now. I started making videos, like recap videos, announcement videos for different events, and that was such a blast. So that was when I first got my bug for video editing and software. They've both taken big chunks of my life when it came to my hobbies. I got really into photography. I would like stick my sisters in these thrifted dresses or dresses from my mom's closet from when she was like 20 something, and stick them out in a field, tease their hair to be like bird's nest, and do all these artsy weird photos, makeup, all this kind of stuff, and it was so much fun. And my sisters were very cooperative. When I moved back to California, I started realizing that when I didn't have my muses from home, my photography hobby and passion kind of took the back burner in a way. It wasn't until I decided I wanted to start this YouTube channel that I got back into video editing, making and creating. It was like a combination of 2 things that I really wanted. One was to get back into being a creative person and making something that lasts, documenting my journeys and documenting my experiences. And also what I explained earlier, that I wanted to fill a void of what I was looking for previously. And so I was really stoked when I wanted to start this channel. I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do very early on, and I always have to remind myself of that. People's definition of success is very different. My definition of success with this channel has already been met. I see other people making success with their YouTube channels, financially, networking, publicity. I see all that. Happy for them if that's what they wanted. While that's great because you get the opportunity to reach more people, that's not what my goal was, except for the fact that I'd be able to reach more people. And even though it may not, I know it's not what everybody wants to see all the time. My perspective, my life that has nothing to do with aviation. Yeah. What else about me? I'm 27. My favorite color is orange. My birthday's in July. I live in San Diego now. I've got 2 sisters, 2 living parents, still married. Love dogs, love flying. I'm afraid of water. I'm allergic to peanuts. My birthmark is in the shape of a shark. I love laying in the sun with lots of sunscreen. I love reading books, but I don't do it enough. I love plants, but I own fake ones in the apartment. Okay, I'm done with me now. That was enough. So that's who the hell I am. Oh, what's next? Coffee, that's what. What the hell do I do? I'm an airline pilot, big surprise. I fly planes for a living. I fly the Embraer 175 for a regional airline. To answer so many questions, no, I cannot tell you who I fly for. Whether I stay here for my lifetime or move on, I'm happy. So the original goal was to move on. As life has evolved, things change, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna end up choosing in the future, and I'm okay with that. I'm trying to live with my quality of life and today in mind. I'm making choices to positively affect the future, and I don't know what the future holds. So I think everybody needs to make the decision that's best for them, whether that is like because of the domicile that you can be based at, the aircraft, if you care about what aircraft you want to fly, the operation that you're going to be doing. So do you want to do long haul flying? Do you want to stay local? So again, this is a lot of information, but that's what's going on in my head. So right now, I'm happy where I'm at. I've got other things that I need to take care of. I still need to finish my degree. That's a good thing to have, is your degree. I have college experience under my belt. I just need to send that off and finish online. That'll be good on my resume. I also can upgrade, and that's gonna be a good thing on my resume. I need to keep up the volunteer work. So there's a lot of shit I gotta do. I want to enjoy my time home with my future husband. And then I wanna have kids. It's not something that I've been like, oh my God, I need to have kids, like my whole life. I've questioned it before. However, it's been pretty constant my whole life that I look forward to having a family. So I wouldn't say I have baby fever. However, I know that it's gonna be so different once I pop out my own. So that really affects my choice for moving on and going to any other airline in the future. But Alex and I don't wanna have kids for like 2.5 years from now. We'll see. Before the airline, all I flew was Cessna 172s and Piper Seminoles. I instructed for ATP, and that was the aircraft that they used. Yeah, I have a pretty limited history when it comes to flying. So there's not much to talk about what I do, because it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's get into how I got there. Cheers. Finally, to the good stuff. More coffee. What probably most people came here to see. How did I get here? So let's go back, shall we? In high school, we had a career class. It was supposed to try to help us find careers. Didn't work too well, I guess. And it was one of those like tests where you basically put down in the very beginning what you think you might like, and then you take all these test questions and it ends up telling you the exact same career choices you thought of in the first place. Seemed totally pointless to me. However, being a pilot was something that I thought, okay, well, that sounds badass, so I'm gonna put that on the list. Also, high school was when I first really got my travel bug. We would take our motorhome and go up the coast of California, went in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, up to Oregon. We always had that kind of adventurous travel bug. But high school years, I got to take a few trips with the school. Went to Mexico to do a mission trip, went to New Orleans to do a mission trip, and then I got to go see Italy, 3 cities in Italy, my senior year. So I got the travel bug for seeing the world. And then from a photography standpoint, I was like, okay, what is more awesome than being able to go travel the world and take photos? So it was like a culmination of what made me happy. What gave me true joy was the idea of seeing other cultures, seeing other places on this planet, and then possibly being able to capture it. I wrote off being a pilot though, because I had no idea how to become one. Fast forward through like 2.5 years of college of me trying to find something practical, didn't work. Fast forward again to when I was working at Starbucks. It was the good old year of, I have no idea, 2013 probably, I think probably. Yeah, so I was working at Starbucks. I was also going to school at RCC, which is the community college in Riverside. I was not happy with the time I was wasting. I was taking a lot of general education classes. I also was taking some elective stuff to spark some inspiration maybe. Didn't work. But what did work was just the pressure, I think. I am a daddy's girl. I hate wasting his money and spending his money. However, he had told us 3 girls growing up that he was gonna be able to put us through college. I didn't feel like it was like my birthright. So I didn't feel comfortable wasting his time and money, my time and his money. So I was on my break at Starbucks and I went in the back room and I went on the computer to Google. And I basically said, okay, we need to pick a safe degree for a safe career to make safe money and then leave the fun stuff for hobbies, or we need to figure out how the hell to fly. and I Googled top 10 jobs, I don't know, for like the coming year or for the coming decade, I don't know. One of those jobs on that list was being an airline pilot. And so it kind of like sparked a little thought wheel turning. So I sat down and I Googled how to become an airline pilot, and the rest is kind of history. From there, I found out basically you can do your degree separate from your training, and the degree is not always even 100% required. So I was like, well, I already have a lot of random ass classes under my belt. Seems like the more important thing is the flight time. And then the degree doesn't matter what degree you have, so I can study something I enjoy or a degree that's unrelated that would help me as like a backup plan if I one day couldn't become a pilot anymore. So then I started looking up flight schools, and that's when good old ATP showed up. ATP and their marketing they are everywhere. They are in every pilot magazine I've ever picked up. You open it up, there's an ad for ATP. You search anything about flight school, there's an ad for ATP. And then when you go on YouTube to watch anything else, in this corner, there's an ad for ATP. They're everywhere. So that's what I ended up doing. I did all my ratings at their location in Riverside, California. I personally had a great experience. A mostly good experience. So many people that go through that program, they end up with a love-hate relationship with it. So I tried to stay on the optimistic side and like put my head down and just do the work, and it worked for me. I know that it doesn't work for everybody. When I started though, they used to offer a self-paced program where you only had to be available 10 days a month. I was working at Starbucks at the time. I get into my instrument rating and I just cannot keep up. It is so tough. I was wearing myself thin, but it was because I was going to the airport like 5 days a week, even though I didn't need to be going that often. There was a time even where I wrecked my car and had to take the bus. So I had to take the bus from in Riverside, if anybody knows, over by like UCR to actually the Starbucks that I worked at was next to the airport. It was like down the street. And so I could walk there. In the morning, I would open at 4 a.m., work at Starbucks from 4 a.m. until 11:30. I would walk to the airport or drive to the airport and be at the airport from like noon until 6 at night, maybe. And then I would basically go home, shower, eat, go to bed, and do it all over again the next day. So I was really killing myself during that phase. And I know that plenty of other people are stronger than me and can do that with no problem. For me, it took a toll. I finished my CFI ratings before winter, and then I went to instruct for ATP that next January, I think of 2016. And then I went to Mesa, Arizona, did that for 8 months, and then I went to California, transferred to the Carlsbad location. When I got there was only me and one other instructor. Yeah. When I left a year and a half later, there was 8 instructors. I had been at ATP for like 4 years total. I had seen so much change. I don't really know anybody that I have ever come in contact with that went through ATP that had been there as long as me. My experience was very slow, but it was partially on purpose. I instructed for 2 years, just under 2 years. December of 2017 was when I stopped instructing, and then I went to the airline January of 2018, and now I've been there 2 years. The only thing I would do differently is I would go do my private license first before joining ATP. Once you get in with ATP or any type of fast-paced program, it is balls to the wall, like you're going ham. I don't work well like that. I don't build confidence that fast with my abilities. I didn't gain confidence as a pilot until I became an instructor. That's the advice I want to be able to give other people when I say that might be the only thing I would change. However, I don't like to dwell on looking back and saying I would change anything, because you can't go back and you don't have the same mindset that you do now when you go back in time. So there's no way of knowing that I would have been able to even make that decision to do my private rating first. So if that is any type of valuable information for any of you, there you go. It's definitely not the end all be all. Like if you join with 0 time, I did it, and if I can do it, you can do it too. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I digress. That's how I got where I am. You guys, I think that is it for this long ass video. I really appreciate anybody who made it to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed all this horde of information I just threw at you. Props to you for sticking it out. Welcome to me, welcome to my life, welcome to my channel. For those that have already been here for 2 years, thanks for sticking it out. You really did stay tuned. That's it. Today's my day off. This is a total sham. I got dolled up just for you guys. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. And I'm also wearing pajama shorts and slippers. Total sham. Don't know why I needed to tell you that. I go on a trip tomorrow, and then life just keeps on going on, isn't it? So thanks again for joining me. If you appreciated all my sharing I did today, you can totally like the video, hit subscribe if you are new here. Yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Stay tuned.